There's no truth to any of these allegations. And I will continue to say that. And, I think that if it has to be proven in court, it will be proven in court because every single thing has been misconstrued and everything is false when it comes to the things I've been accused of.
Today, I interview Ben Armstrong, founder of BitBoy Crypto, and get the real story, at least his story, on the series of allegations that led to his removal from his company.
I could have taken a buyout on day one. On day one of this, I could have taken a buyout. I'm too trusting. I'm way too trusting, and I've got to start being more skeptical. I'm not a serial cheater. I'm not a person that's some kind of predator.
And I ask Ben the tough questions. TJ was never into Bencoin. I'm just guessing, but that's probably true, right?
The story that's been told about why JChains left the company is inaccurate. That's not what happened.
Is there an operating agreement in your new company? Are you making the same mistakes? As well as discuss Ben's plans looking forward.
But what I can say is I cannot lose. There's 0% chance I'm going to lose. 0%. I'll be back at the top of the influencer game. I think everybody knows that. Everybody knows I'll be back to the top of the heap. The value does not lie in the old channel. The value doesn't really necessarily lie in my new channel. The value, it lies within me.
As we begin today's show, like we mentioned in our other interview, Altcoin Daily is all about presenting news that impacts the crypto community in an impartial and unbiased manner as best as possible. This controversy certainly fits that bill, and we appreciate both sides sharing their story. As Ben's about to mention, because this is a legal issue, both sides are now handling things more privately with the lawyers. And as a neutral party who wasn't there, I'm just glad that the truth can now come out through the courts as both parties want.
Once again, start nipping at your heels and outgrow you guys. So I get to do that all over again.
The race is on. The race is on. And right before we were about to do this interview, you told me, due to legal reasons, which I totally get, you're unable to talk about the majority of the case. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, guys, everybody knows me. Everybody knows I like to talk. And I think people seeing this new side of me that's I'm actually listening to the legal advice at this point. I think it shows that this is very serious, and we are in a very good position to win. I've said a few times, I'm in a win-win-win situation here. People look at the momentum of my new channel, and they can see where all the viewers are going, and all the engagement and the likes and the clicks and the subscribers. I'm getting, I've had days where I've got more subscribers, in a day than I've had in a day in 3 or 4 years. And so really excited to continue to grow this channel and move forward and hit 100,000 subscribers. I know you guys put out something that said the viewers of Altcoin Daily also watch these channels like Ben Armstrong's, crypto. And I was like, man, is the only person without 100,000 subscribers on that list. I was truly honored.
Ooh, interesting. That's right. We put it on Twitter. The top 10 channels our audience watch that also watch us. You were number 6. There was Coin Bureau, there's Banter, there's all these other people on there.
Well, interesting because I just started it. I'm already number 6.
True.
So, my community, Ben Nation, as we call them now, my community has been really great through all this. And, that they came to where the brand was, and, excited to kind of shed the BitBoy moniker and, be Ben Armstrong for now. And, a new book coming out. I got all kinds of stuff going on, and, really excited to continue to grow my own personal brand now.
Ben, what scares me is that both sides adamantly think they're going to win 100%. And somebody's going to lose unless there's a settlement. You say you are definitely going to win, in your opinion?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's I can't give away any of our legal our legal directions, but what I can say is I cannot lose. There's 0% chance I'm going to lose. 0%.
What's the biggest misconception about you that came out of all this, you think? The audience at home, millions of people have watched your story over these last few weeks. What's the biggest misconception of you?
I think the biggest misconception of me is that I'm about money. I'm not about money. I think that's been very clear through all this. If I was about money, then I would have stacked tons of money up on the side and I would be fine right now. But I'm struggling financially, and I'm not going to be struggling financially for long. I mean, obviously now the new channel started, we got sponsors lining up, and I've sold some assets and managed to get some money in my accounts and stuff. But there was a time during all this where I had $4,000 to my name. $4,000 to my name. Of course, had a high dollar vehicle, not even counting the one that was taken from me, but had my Dodge Demon, obviously a car that I loved a lot. I had my Rolex, got rid of that. Like certainly my family lives in a nice house, but like, guys, I don't want to rush and sell my family home. Like, even if I did it, it would take months and months and months to get that money in. And then we're dealing with all kinds of, situations of moving and uncertainty. And my family's been affected enough by this, for sure. The public humiliation has been outrageous. But I haven't been in a good financial spot. I mean, I was $20,000 behind on bills, and none of that is false. That's all 100% accurate. Anybody that has dealt with me in real life would be able to tell you, like the fact is I set up a company to where anytime I needed money, I just asked for money and I got a weekly paycheck. And when that weekly paycheck stopped, it was a big paycheck. But when that weekly paycheck stopped, I didn't have any funds coming in. And so I've had to kind of, get back on my heels and now I'm back on my feet and excited to move forward. But I think this idea that people had over the years that I'm wearing Gucci because I'm all about money is not the case. Like, the fact is, I did have a lot of money. I had access to a lot of money. And most of those clothes were bought with, they were for the brand, right? So they were bought with company funds because it was wardrobe for the show and wardrobe for speaking on, speaking on stage at places and making appearances. And I got to look good for pictures, and so certainly, like, if you look at the kind of clothes I wore outside of maybe the Dolce and Gabbana get up I wore at the Dubai X for the Dub X coin party, for the most part, I'm wearing black shirts. Yeah, I might say Burberry, I might say Gucci on it, but I'm just wearing normal clothes. I'm not, certainly never got into the Richard Hart area of fashion. And I think what people need to see from all this is there was a miscalculation by everyone involved to think that I'm so desperate to be rich that I'll make concessions that I wouldn't have made otherwise. And that's not, guys, I don't give two craps about a car. I care about the Lamborghini because of the situation surrounding it. I could get rid of that. I'll get another Lamborghini in the future. I'm not worried about that. When I'm at a better financial spot to where I'm not having to decide like, hey, should I buy a Lamborghini or pay employees? Like, I never want to be in that situation. And so I think people have looked at this on the outside and looked at a lot of the surface things, whether it's maybe the cars I drive or the clothes that I wear, and they have a certain perception about me. But whenever anybody meets me in person, like, they'll tell you I'm the most down to earth, one of the most down to earth influencers you'll ever meet. Like, I love talking to people. I care more about the people, care more about my audience, care more about my family. I care more about, obviously you need money to survive, right? So on a baseline level, you have to care about money in some regards, but my numbers, my fashion, my cars, my bank account, none of that matters to me. What matters is I'm able to do what I love, which is get out here and talk to people. And I hope that that's really been what people have seen through this. And that's why I'm pushing through here, because I could have taken a buyout on day one. On day one of this, I could have taken a buyout and, walked away and maybe started getting more behind the scenes, because this, Austin, a lot of people in crypto that we've known throughout the years, at some point they shift to behind the scenes because the public life becomes a little bit too much and invites too much scrutiny. I'm not built that way. I don't care about that stuff. I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy the people talking about me. Like, there certainly is, certainly there have been some unflattering things that have came out here. Look, I had an affair and I take responsibility for it. And I deserve, as I always say, I deserve all the tomatoes. People deserve, I effed up on that big time. It's a choice that I can't undo. It's something I've never done before. I have never had an affair, a sexual relationship with anyone outside of someone who I was dating or married to. I'm not a serial cheater. I'm not a person that's some kind of predator. Like, there's never going to be a story come out about anyone that I've ever had any kind of sexual relationship with outside of what people already know. And so I certainly didn't believe that I was capable of doing such. And for that, I do deserve humiliation for, because people know the kind of person I've said that I am, and I'm very loyal, and I stab my wife in the back, and that freaking sucks. And I hate that. But at the end of the day, I'm not a bad person, and everything that has happened here, I don't really deserve. However, when you look at the numbers and the views and the clicks and the intention, like, it's been amusing. It's been amusing to watch from the outside. The Grand Theft Auto memes, those are pretty good. This is what he sees, this is what she sees. Meme was pretty funny. There's certainly a lot of, and I just take it all in stride and I laugh about it. And I think if people understood how, after I broke out of this, there was definitely a period of time for about a week where I felt like I was in a psychological prison and I didn't have anywhere to turn. And, I had some people I could lean on, and that was it. But once I came out of that, like, look, I'm taking this in stride, and I understand this is going to be the best thing. Like, this is going to end up by the end of this being a great thing for me, and it already kind of is. And I think that it's causing me to re-examine a lot of stuff about my life and re-examine a lot about the people that I trust. Like, that's something that has really been driven home to me is I'm too trusting. I'm way too trusting, and I've got to start being more skeptical and more critical. I have to start setting things up in a way that, like, okay, I don't believe this person is going to try to screw me over, but they may. Like, I've got to think of it like that. And so that's never the way I've thought in my entire life. I always believe everything's going to be okay. And in general, I just feel like I've got a good outlook on life, and I've got an outlook on life that's a positive one. And I see myself continuing to grow, and I'll be back at the top of the influencer game. I think everybody knows that. Everybody knows I'll be back to the top of the heap. Y'all got a big lead on me now. Y'all had a big lead on me before. Percentage wise, the lead you guys have on me now is much smaller than the lead that you had on me on the previous channel, when we first met. So I think it was 127,000 subscribers to like 6,000 subscribers. So, looking forward to, continuing to grow. And, I think that's the misconception, though, that I care only about the numbers. I care so desperate to keep the channel. Like, I don't care about that stuff. What I care about is I got me and my audience and my family and the people around me that I love and care about, and my friends in this community that have shown themselves to be true friends. Those are the things that matter to Ben Armstrong. And speaking in third person,
obviously. One compliment I want to give you, which I just think has become so much more obvious to me in this last month, so much more undeniable, I should say, is that whether you're at your high highs, meaning talking about something you love, crypto, in the daily live streams, or at the low lows, having that run in with the cops, you're an on-camera talent. Like, you're entertaining. Like, like that's something they can never take away from you. So, like, when you say you're going to build up a new channel, like, do you think the other channel, do you even want the other channel anymore? It's like hemorrhaging views.
I will tell you, no matter how this proceeds, I'm never making another video on that channel. Even if I get everything back, never, except, like maybe a channel trailer just to keep it alive and explain like what happened. But I have no plans of using that channel going forward, no matter what happens. No, if I were to get everything back, I have plans, but this is my channel going forward, and there's no doubt, and there's no going back on it. There was a time where if I would have gotten everything back, and that channel had momentum, that I was going to go back to BitBoy and I was going to keep it going. And that's why people might have seen some conflicting statements by me, right? Like, on one hand, I said, like, that channel was over, and I was taking a new over for me and taking a new moniker, my actual name. And then there was a time where I said, guys, that was really me just kind of sitting back. Like, of course I want to get it back. I am BitBoy. But now we progressed to somewhere different, which is I've gone through kind of a realization about where the value lies for me. The value does not lie in the old channel. The value doesn't really necessarily lie in my new channel. The value, it lies within me. And everywhere I go, there I am. And so I'm going to bring the value to everyone. Like you said, guys, I was a YouTuber before YouTube was invented. Like, it's always been the Ben Show for me, and I think people around me would attest to that. And I don't mean that from a standpoint of, guys, I just got a big personality. I've always had a big personality. I was always in trouble in school. Like certainly my later years, it was for bad stuff, that I got into as an older teenager. But even from the time I was in kindergarten, I was getting sent to the principal's office. Why? For talking and doing things for attention, and I think that, maybe circus clown was something that one of my teachers told my mom I should be when I was older. But YouTuber wasn't invented yet. And thank you, thank the good Lord, the YouTube did come out, because I don't think I would look good with white paint on my face. I'm already pale enough.
I want to talk about your
I see you can relate to that.
Dude, nobody's paler than is what they tell me. In the bull market, I'll get a tan. But I want to talk about your new channel. But before we do that, I understand this final question. You can't talk that much about specifics, but out of all the allegations that the other party made about you, misappropriation of funds, a physical assault, all that stuff, your message is that they're untrue, correct? Like, the audience,
absolutely,
Team Ben,
absolutely, 100%. I will never back down off of that. That there are I would just say that there have been some liberties taken with the telling of these stories. Great liberties that have been taken. And like, there's a lot of things that I wish I could say right now. And I wish I could talk a lot more about what's going on. But what I would tell you is this, is even if I could talk, and even if I could tell you every single thing, and I could just be an open book, I still would not be addressing individual allegations. Because when I address individual allegations, like it makes it seem like he's addressing this. Maybe there's some truth to something else. No, guys, there's no truth to any of these allegations. And I will continue to say that. And, I think that if it has to be proven in court, it will be proven in court. But I don't want to give credibility to any of the things that have been said, because every single thing has been misconstrued and everything is false when it comes to the things I've been accused of.
And obviously, dude, the thing is, I feel like the real winners in this are going to be the lawyers, because it's a he said situation from an outside party. The lawyers are getting all the money. Is there any chance, do you see any chance of a reconciliation where somebody doesn't get zero in your mind? Is there any chance of meeting in the middle?
Sure. Yeah, sure. I think so. And I think that I would have told you that last week. I wouldn't have said last week that there was any chance for any kind of negotiation or buyout. But at this point, we all know where the value is, and the value is over here. So why do I care? Why do I want to go on and on fighting over the value that I've already brought to my new channel? So what I would say is good luck to everybody involved, trying to do it without me. Good luck. But that doesn't mean that I am definitely going. All I'll say is right now, there's a lot of options on the table. There's a lot of things that are going on in the background that people aren't aware of. And I'm looking forward to a lot of these things playing out. And I look forward to just moving on from this one way or the other. And I think that everyone sees, where the success is going for me. And that's all I'm trying to focus on right now.
Let's talk about your new channel. You're doing the morning live streams, or why should somebody subscribe? What do they get by subscribing to you?
Me. That's why. But guys, we're going back to the grassroots of the channel. I got to where I wanted to have guys, I love ESPN. Well, it kind of sucks now, but it used to be really great, before they fired everybody. And I mean, that's a good example of how the people that you have matter in entertainment. And on ESPN, they went through massive firings a few years ago, and those things matter a lot. When Mike and Mike, the morning show there, broke up, I don't give a rip about who. They've had 17 different hosts try to replace them. You can't replace Mike and Mike. They were eternal. They were sports talk radio. Kind of in there's other, people out there that are seen as their brand, and they move on, and people try to come in after that and do something with it, and it doesn't work. And so, for me, realizing my own value and where I stand with things, I think that it's been a bit of an awakening for me to realize that I'm the person that made the whole thing go. And on the new channel, people are going to get all the stuff they got on the old channel delivered differently. I don't want to go back into super high level production value and quality. Do we want to put out crap? No, absolutely not. But I mean, we got a small team here. We're small. We're fit. We're lean and mean over here is what we like to say. And we have our new world finance, we can talk about in a minute, but it's a power alliance of some crypto creators. And we want to see that go forward, but we're not going to get caught up in the fancy editing, because you can go watch a lot of channels, a lot of crypto YouTube videos that are being put out right now. And structurally, they're great videos. The editing is great. The scripts are great. The information is good. I may not say great, but it's good. But those videos aren't getting watched because a long time ago, people realized, people were tricked by production value. You used to think that the higher the production value, the better the content. And I think we've hit a reversal there, right? Where it's actually started going the opposite way. I mean, look what you guys do. Your production value is not
100%, and that's by design. 100%.
Yeah. And so we're going back to being more real on this channel. I've gotten to a point, and it's crazy, Austin, is my numbers stalled out after the bull run. It's so weird. Somehow I started trending more than ever. right? Like when I trend on Twitter, like I'll trend for like 2 months straight. At some point there were millions of tweets about me in an hour, and it's something that it has been entertaining to watch. But my fame, right? I'm not comparing myself to a real celebrity, but my fame in crypto and my fame on the outer fringes of how that touches mainstream, even though my numbers have not gone out dramatically, my fame has drastically increased. Like people recognize me more on the street, like now than they did in the heat of the bull run. And that's very interesting to me to watch. And it just kind of shows that, people care about what I think and they care about what I say and they want to be part of that. And so on my new channel, we're going to get back to me being the brand. Like I am the brand. Like I am Ben Armstrong. I am the brand. There's nobody, of course, AJ might fill in for me sometimes if I do absolutely have to leave, but it got to where I was barely on the other show. I mean, I was only there about half the time. I was traveling multiple weeks and, had a lot of good opportunities and made a lot of good contacts and relationships. And now we're getting back to where I am back on the channel and you're going to get me every single day. And, starting next week, we're going to be back to 3 videos per day, just like we always did. It's funny, there's a sponsor that we've been talking to. And I couldn't understand why they wouldn't sign on the dotted line to be sponsor on this new channel, because the talks we had were very good. And what I realized after the conversation that was had with them, which was, oh, they haven't watched me from the beginning. So they're thinking that like it's going to be a struggle for me to put out the same amount of content I was putting out before, because it's just me. And guys, it's not true. Like I was doing 2-3 videos every single day before I had anybody working for me, and I was editing them all, and I was doing all the thumbnails and all the titles. So I'm back to doing it. Like all those thumbnails you see on my channel, they're me. The titles, they're me. The video ideas, they're me. Of course, I have some input from JChains and AJ on, what we're doing as far as content goes, and we talk about ideas sometimes, but we are back to where I'm doing everything on this channel, and I love it. Like I remember I went to Sin City Crypto. I love Sin City Crypto. I went out there to their studio a couple years ago for the first time, maybe a year and a half ago. Can't remember exactly when it was. And I got back to my hotel. They're in Las Vegas, and I just loved what they were doing so much. And it just reminded me of the nostalgia of what it's like to build. And I got emotional. Like I got emotional thinking about like everything I had been through to build what I built. But yet I miss the early days when I was building. And of course, when you're in the early days, you're not making money. You don't love it. You're doing it because you have to. But there was a nostalgia about building. And so I am looking forward to being able to build this channel out. We've got a new panel show coming at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through, I think we are going to do it now Monday through Friday. Next week, it'll probably be Monday through Thursday. And that's going to be a really cool show. We've got a great concept for that. We have our New World Finance channel that we're going to be creating. There's going to be clips from all of our shows that are involved in New World Finance. You should be getting 90s wrestling vibes. That's right. It's NWO, but NWF, right? We combined NWO and WWF to create D-Generation X, the true one. We're going to keep our clique small. Everybody's not getting to join our clique, and we're going to collaborate and have a power alliance. And that's why, like everybody, if you guys are going to go check out my new channel, make sure to check out AJ Writes Crypto on Twitter and YouTube. Make sure to check out JChains or Crypto JChains on YouTube and Twitter. These are my people. These are my guys that I roll with. These are my road dogs. These are my boys.
Can we? Can we like JChains? How happy were you to get JChains back in the group? Like, because he left the company early on.
Oh my gosh, man! Like, and people have to understand that the story that's been told about why JChains left the company is inaccurate. That's not what happened. Did JChains and I get into an altercation and dispute of some sort? Yes, we did. Okay. However, the fact was that is not why he left. He left a month later because of something totally different. And if he ever wants to tell the story about exactly what happened, like he has the autonomy to be able to do that. Actually, I don't know. I think there was NDAs that were signed, so maybe he can't actually say it. But I didn't sign one, but I'm not going to put words into somebody else's mouth. But I always miss JChains. I tell you, when I got back, we had a problem between the two of us. There was definitely a problem. And when he left, I was very sad about it. I begged him to stay, and he decided to leave. And when about 2 months after he left, I went down to the Bahamas and chased Sam Bankman-Fried all around, right? But when he was still free. And my first comment when I got to the hotel after we got done with the first day, where we went to the condo, I said, man, I wish JChains was here, and there were some things that occurred that we both wish that we could take back. Because regardless of why he left the company or not, there was a change in our relationship at some point. And we, to be fair, JChains, when I got back from the Bahamas, we went in November to Decentral. JChains tried to kind of make amends, and he tried to hang out with me and be my friend. And I'll be honest, I went into it at the time. I was hurt by some stuff that happened, but and I've always said that, like, I just missed him so much because he was my dog, right? Like, and a lot of people know last November, my best friend died. My best friend, Jim, that had been on the channel before. He died of a drug overdose. It's extremely sad. We met in rehab 15 years ago. We've been best friends. Like, we called each other brother, like brother. He was my go-to guy. Like, that was my best friend. And I lost him right after I lost JChains. JChains was number 2. He was my best friend right behind Jim. And it really hurt me. And it was really sad that we did have some issues in our relationship. And we've now made amends on those. And I told him, we had an honest conversation about why I was hurt and I was upset. I knew why he was hurt and why he was upset. And I knew that he had been trying to mend that relationship, and I wasn't trying to mend it. But because, like, there were some things I wanted to protect myself a little bit, because I'm too quick to forgive and let people back in. There's some things that we see now that are unforgivable, I believe. But I feel so great about having him back. Like, we picked up right where we left off. We said the boys are back, and they're obviously getting AJ to come over.
That was a huge get from an outsider looking in. To me, it seemed that way.
Yeah. Well, AJ is the most talented person. AJ and Frank are the most talented people that I ever brought in. And I saw AJ's talent from the very beginning. There were a lot of people that didn't see it, and I had to, like, kind of force, like, no, guys, like, trust me, he reminds me of me, like, in a lot of ways. Like, he has a lot of the same qualities and characteristics that I have. He has maybe a little bit more, I'm more like rugged, manly good looks. He's more like boyish good looks. Okay, we're both good looking guys. Okay. I did find out recently that some of the lady YouTubers are into AJ, which I didn't know. But we come from different places. We have a lot of similarities, but he's extremely talented. And I always knew he was going to be big, and I always wanted him up under me, as an apprentice. That's why he was my go-to person to film for me when I was gone. And so getting him to be able to come create content with me, not for me, but with me here at our new studio, it was absolutely huge. But with AJ, there was never a gap in our relationship. For me and JChains, there was a gap where things were not the same with us as they were in the beginning. And so to have him back, it does feel a lot of reconciliation. My heart feels really good about it. And that's why, like, there's not 2 people in the world that I would rather have here working with me other than JChains and AJ. And between the 3 of us, start up, pick the pieces, and we can move forward. And I hope I hope they get rewarded for their loyalty to me. And what I mean by that is that people look at these people that when the times were hard, when the times were tough, and a lot of people were kicking me while I was down, it would have been very easy for JChains to jump on. It would have been very easy. And he didn't. He specifically had conversations about that he wasn't going to kick me while I was down. And that's a true friend. And regardless of the little thing that we went through, my heart's full and happy. And that sounds kind of, kind of whatever, but it's true when it comes to that regard. And there's nobody I'd rather have here.
I appreciate you saying that. And I actually have to jump off in 5 minutes. So rapid fire for these last couple of questions. Yep. How's Bencoin doing? I see Cassie just got a promotion to CEO. Yeah. What's going on with that?
Well, I mean, the fact is she was really doing CEO role anyways. There was an announcement that I made very early on with Bencoin to where I said that she was the COO. And the truth is I would have made her the CEO, except for the fact that she didn't really have a name in crypto. And nobody really knew who she was at that point. I mean, some people knew. I mean, she got a bigger account than most people on Twitter or on X, but not anything of significance where, like, she was popular in the space or anything. And so I felt like for Bencoin, for the CEO, I wanted a big name. I wanted something splashy, and that wasn't her at the time. And so I told her, I said, I know that you're doing all the legwork and you're doing, like, guys, she has built this project. Like, she has absolutely built all the infrastructure that we have. Now, she didn't develop it. She's not a developer, but she's managed the entire thing. And so it was common sense to move her to that position. And I know obviously there's some complications due to everything that occurred, and people are looking from the outside and they've got all kinds of opinions. I hope my personal life going forward, is now something that's going to be more off the table. I invited everyone into my personal life. And I think from this point forward, we're going to do things a little bit differently. But yeah, Bitcoin's going to be fine. We have our V2 launch coming soon. Super excited about that. There's going to be some income generating things woven into that V2. They're going to push us to be able to, get our initiatives and push towards crypto adoption. And guys, what a better time to what a better time to be at the bottom than at the bottom of the crypto sentiment, which is where we've been. So really looking forward to building Bitcoin out and fostering crypto adoption.
Yo, TJ was never into Bitcoin. Like I'm just guessing, but that's probably true, right?
I will not comment on preferences of anyone at the old company, but I will tell you this, that there are a lot of people that were very unhappy with my decision to move towards Bitcoin and to move away some certain coins that were preferential, I will say. And, I know that there were some people that I lost as employees and lost, not as friends necessarily, but there were some people that were no longer operating with me. And it's the same thing. There were a lot of people that had opinions about the people I was hanging around, and a lot of people that had opinions about the coins that I liked and what I was involved in and with Bitcoin. And going forward, that's what I mean by I'm free now. Like, I'm free. I can do whatever I want now. I can do whatever I want. And yes, I was 67% owner, but you have to understand the difference between being able to do whatever you want and then being able to do whatever you want with pushback and detractors. And now I don't have any of that, and I'm free to operate the way I want to operate, and I'm excited about it.
Is there an operating agreement in your new company? Are you making the same mistakes?
No, there's no operating agreement because I'm 100% owner. Like, there doesn't have to be any kind of operating agreement because there's nobody to agree with. Like, it's me, myself, and I that are in charge of this. So, and I would tell everybody this. And were you about to ask me a question about lessons learned? Because I'm about to give a lesson learned here.
Yeah,
a lesson learned here is don't bring people on as business partners. It doesn't matter how much you know them. Doesn't matter how much you trust them. Doesn't matter if they're family. Doesn't matter if you love them. Doesn't matter what they've done for you. When you are a person that creates something, now look, if you create something with someone, right, is different. But if you create something first and then someone else gets invited into that fold, I will look everybody in the eyes and I'll tell you that is a big mistake. By going through this, I've also seen so many other people who have gone through similar experiences, not on this level, not to this scale, obviously, because this is public, but so many people have regretted that. The number one business litigation topic is partner splitting. And so I think that, just because you create something and you're the owner of it, it doesn't necessarily protect you. So going forward, I'm gonna make sure I have protection at all sides.
Ben, final question, then I'll let you go. Millions of people have watched your story this last month. I know the other channel, the other side, is watching this interview now. What is your final message to the haters, the lovers, people out there?
Yeah, my final message is that for everybody that has watched over the years and been loyal to me and subscribed to the channel and watched the videos, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And the thing that I take away from this that is going to be the number one, not necessarily the most important lesson learned, but the number one thing that I realized that now will separate what I do going forward from what I did in the past, which is, I thought I was smart. I thought that I thought that what I was doing was unique. I thought that the value that I brought in crypto was unique. I thought that the way that we structured the content was unique. I thought I had a formula. I thought there was a formula to the success of BitBoy Crypto. And I believe that we could take that formula and we could reapply it in any niche with any person that had talent, and we could get similar results. And what I learned is that's not true at all. I never had a formula. I didn't have any kind of secret tricks or tips that helped me. What I had was I had me and I had my personality. And that the people, many of the people around me, I think forgot about that. And I never realized it, which is people watch my channel because of me. They didn't watch it for the production value. They didn't watch it for, I knew about this coin and nobody else did. They may have made money on that coin, right? But they watch my channel because they love me, or they love to hate me. People love me or they love to hate me. As we all know, there's not a lot of people in the middle. I'm sure your audience, but I did notice your audience, I was looking at comments from another video you did. Your audience is a very neutral audience, which I think is very funny, because I see there's a lot of like, well, like this was a really cool video and it was a very mature conversation, but no comments on what I was actually said. So, your audience reflects you guys very well. But for me, there's not a lot of people that are in the middle. You either love me or you love to hate me, or you hate to love me. There's not a lot there. And I've learned that. And I realize that now. And that helps me take a lot of the comments more in stride. The comments didn't bother me before, but they certainly don't bother me now. And now I really do see that even when people are saying horrible things about me, like it is a form of adoration in a sense. And so understanding that, having that epiphany and knowing that I'm the value on the channel, that's going to change what I do going forward, because I know I don't want to leave something to other people to take over when I'm gone. It's either me or it's nothing. And that's how it is going forward. And I appreciate everybody for the support. The platform to come talk about in my new channel. And, look forward to having you on my new show next week or the week after.
I'll put the links down below in the video description. Appreciate you coming on, man.